Can 2 minutes of cold water every single day change your life? I'm not 100% sure I know, but let me tell you what I do know about the routine and habit that I've created for myself around having 2 minutes of cold water at the end of every single shower. I had heard a little while ago about some of the benefits of having cold water showers, and apparently it's really good for you to invigorate you, and it's quite good for your skin, and it sort of wakes up your organs and stuff like that. And in modern society, we're not used to getting cold water, being submerged in cold water, which is apparently part of what was commonplace for us in our days when we used to bath in rivers and under waterfalls and stuff like that. So what I had started doing was creating a ritual for myself where at the end of every single shower that I had, for the last 2 minutes, I would turn off all the hot water and just stand underneath the cold water for the final 2 minutes. What I find interesting is the internal conversation that I have with myself every single time I turn off that hot water and get covered by this uncomfortable and somewhat unpleasant sensation of cold water going over me. And the conversation normally goes something along the lines of, this is ridiculous. The first time you do it, it's going to be something like, this is ridiculous. You don't have to do it. What's the benefit of this? It's just cold. You've got stuff to do. You're not going to even be able to control the very thoughts that come up in your mind that start to tell you a story and convince you about why this is a bad idea and why you should just turn it off and carry on with your day. What I've noticed though is the more I become aware of that conversation that I have with myself every single day, and then I create the ritual, and I've sort of been disciplined in making sure that I see these uncomfortable 2 minutes out, I start to become aware of the fact that this way of sort of standing there and being disciplined and having this idea that in my day there are going to be things that I'm going to need to do that may not feel pleasant, that may not feel like something that I want to do, but the way of thinking that I have come to understand about myself in having a cold shower almost sets me up for my day to be able to be aware that there are going to be things that I need to do, and that I have a choice about how I perceive these bad situations. Because as you stand there under cold water for the first day, the second, third, fourth day, it's really uncomfortable and maybe unpleasant perhaps. But the more time you spend there, you eventually start to switch your mindset and get to a stage where you're like, I'm going to be under this water for the next 2 minutes because that's part of my routine. And I can choose to sit here and hate it, or I can take this moment and be thankful, invigorated, feel alive, enjoy the contrast of the cold water on my body after the hot water. Whatever story you choose to tell yourself really is your choice. And when you start to see that how you control the way that you feel about 2 minutes of cold water in the morning, and you start to understand that you can control how you feel about other difficult things that you need to do in your life, you start to see that you can tell yourself a very different story. And in telling yourself a different story, you can literally change your entire reality around you.